Hi y'all, Long Lance here, or Shane, coming to you with another quick update on Russell Gosling's D-Day group build, and with my King Tiger, which is for my Battle of Kong diorama. So as you can see here, last time we talked I was supposed to add the Simmerit. So as you can see, I've added it, and actually I've also added some small finer details, which we'll have a look at. So, if you remember, I used liquid green stuff from Citadel to do the Simmerit, as well as some of the texturing. It's a wee bit too big in this scale, but when you consider the scale in this is 1 in 76, so just for a sense of scale, this is a lighter. So yeah, you know what I mean, like it's pretty small. So this was kind of the finest I could get it without losing my mind. So at places it looks more like a Panther's Simmerit, but shouldn't be too noticeable once the painting's done. So yeah, what I did was I applied the liquid green stuff. God, I have a bit of a list today for some reason. I don't know what's going on with me. And I applied that with a cocktail stick, a matchstick that I had carved to turn into a bit of a stir or an applicator, and I just applied it in a very thin coat. Let it set for about, a minimum of 2 hours, and then I went for the old method that I've never used before and worked pretty okay for me. I used a pin vise with a needle in it and scribed the Simmerit, and as you can see, this is how it's left it. So we'll have a look. See, so that's that side, the rear. As you can see, the rear was a bit hard to do because there's some of the molded in detail I didn't want to shave off and lose. But again, it gives it gives the impression that's there, and it'll do. I've also added a bit of detail to the exhausts. I've drilled out the exhaust heads, as you can see, with some micro drills, and I added a bit of texture to the exhaust housings, or the covers. Similar on this side. So yeah, it's pretty okay. And then on the front, I'm not too happy with the ball or the MG mount. It's a bit too blocky. I can come back to that and maybe add some new scribe lines to break up them bigger blocks. We'll see if I'm feeling brave enough to do it. So I'm almost done with the hull detailing. I've made an order there today, just a few hours ago. Should have it. I tried to get it from a company as close to Ireland as possible that had the stuff I was looking for. So my order was 0.5mm and I think 0.75mm styrene tubes, or bar should I say, which I will be modelling. Which side does it go on? This side. So that will be used to do the gun cleaning kit that should sit about here. And I also ordered some very fine strip to make the equipment mounts. I might attempt to do the tow cables. Unfortunately, the problem with that is I had real fine lead wire from Plus Model, but I can't see, no one seems to have it in stock anymore, and I don't have enough, and it's a bit too old and brittle to try to weave into the tow cables, especially the track return cable. So if it comes down to it, I might just use the wire on its own and not thread it or not braid it, and no, I don't think it'll look that good. So we'll see about that. I will try at least one or two to see can I make it look reasonably okay. So that's what's going on. I also ordered from them a few models from Fleho's Panzer Race range, which I kind of messed up the order, and I wanted to order for my Panzer 1 crew the Panzer Black uniform and highlight, but what happened was they had two Panzer crew uniform colours, and the highlights to go with them. So the base and the highlights. There's 4 colours in total for the 2 uniform sets. One of them would be the reed green. Well, they say it's field grey, but it looks more like the reed green that the Stug batteries, as in the Stundenstedts or the Stug crews would have worn. So they wore like a reed green style uniform rather than the Panzer black. And so that came with like so what happened was I ordered the Panzer black, or the Panzer crew black uniform base, and then the Stug crew style highlights. So they won't match, but that just gives you the excuse now to go back and buy the Stug base colour and then the Panzer highlights of both then. And I do want to build some Stugs in the future, especially those who operate in Mount Casino with the Fallschirmjäger. So any excuse to build a Stug with Fallschirmjäger is always a cool idea. So that's going to be me. So that's that out of the way. We'll have a look at the turret. Okay. So we are in focus, which is good. Let's reposition the light. Oh, overexposed. Focus. No, don't mind that little red blob. What happened there was I was cleaning a brush, and that's just a bit of the water runoff, and it just dried. It didn't take away any detail. I don't want to describe it because I don't want to take away. So the turret was the first thing I tried to do, and I tried to do it while the putty was wet on this side. That's why it's a bit rough on this side, and it was a bit of a mess. But I don't really mind because Simrich was applied both in the field and in the factory. I believe it's actually a field application. I might be wrong in that, so don't hold that to me. So I also add a bit of texture to the mantlet here, as well as the Simrich to the top of the mantlet. A bit of Simrich on the muzzle brake. The idea for that is if I want to add a bit of soot, by adding a fine texture to that, when I go back with the artist chalk and apply the black chalk, it gives it a bit of a texture, and soot isn't just flat. The rear was a bit hard to do, so that's why it's a bit of a dog's dinner, but again, it shouldn't look too bad once there's a bit of paint on it. On a point to note, I actually added a bit more detail to the turret. Yeah, there you go. If you look at the lifting rings located here and at the front, I drilled them out just to add an extra bit of detail to them. So I want my build to be, I know Mike is building his KT or his King Tiger, and I want mine to be a little bit different to his, because you know what I mean, like I don't want to be building the same thing as himself, because he's doing a very fine job. And we are trading notes a little bit on it. I was talking to him briefly about it there, I think last week or a few days ago at least. So yeah, and also you're doing doing a great job on that too, bud. There's the front. So yeah, it's looking nicely now. What else is going on? I don't know if I mentioned this because I tried to make this video once before and I kind of babbled. Oh, what I was going to say there, yeah. I ordered as well from that place, and they were a bit expensive. They were HO scale, so that's railway. I think that's 1:100. I think it might be a bit smaller, but they were the real fine trees, not the plastic mold ones, but they're super fine. I think they're dried trees. They look real like. I ordered a set of 7 of them. They cost me £14. So they cost me bloody like 17-18 euro. But the idea for them is that I'm going to use it to populate the diorama a little bit, and like to maybe add it into this piece of dried tree that I had lying in my stash, which I'm going to recycle. But more so, I'm going to take 1 or 2 of them trees, cut them up, and apply them as foliage camouflage that's very prominent in German armour in Normandy. Because air, even on an interesting note, the Luftwaffe had 400 aircraft available about to provide air cover over Normandy. But the problem was that out of those 400 aircraft, very few of them were operational, and fewer still had experienced crews. So they were a little bit outmatched. So they very rarely took to the skies in the numbers. So if they were smart and had a chance to concentrate their air cover over their panzer divisions, they still would have lost, but would have dragged out a bit longer. They might have been a bit more effective. Even though the German army in Normandy had a very heavy flak umbrella. So they had a lot of air defence. But bear in mind, this is before guided missiles, so it's very, I see the manually track aircrafts coming in at 300 miles an hour. So it's a bit hard to shoot them down. So that's a bit of trivia there. But again, it's relevant, especially to the Battle of Kong, because air was incredibly important, especially when the Panzerlehr, the 12th, is it? Hitler-Juden, which is, they're basically Hitler-Juden, 16, 17-year-olds with guns, and they're actually some of the best soldiers they had under the command of Kurt Meyer, believe it or not. I didn't know that. I was quite interested to hear that the Hitler-Juden was under Kurt Meyer. And also then the 21st Panzer Division. So the three fairly good units in the Kong area that basically, like, Kong was meant to be taken when day one. It took them 3 weeks to do it, I believe. So and this is also, so like, a bit of area background. So what else is going on? I'm just doing a bit of work on some Warhammer guys. I'm actually very proud of them. I know it's a bit off topic, lads, but I'm very proud of them. They're in flight. There we go, I can actually see them. I'm very proud of that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, including the OSL, or object source lighting, coming from the glow of his jump pack. You know, so I applied some very nice little modelling detail, including a bit of still water on the base. So that's what I'm working on in the middle, like in between the Panzer I, the Striker, and the B-17 buddy build and this group build. So, you know, I'm keeping myself busy, constantly changing, working around things. I haven't done a video on the Warhammer stuff because I don't really think anyone would want to see it. If you do, just leave me a comment and I will do a few videos. And I don't want you guys looking at nothing. So I'm going to sign off in a few minutes. There's a few notes. I watched Gab's 0909s, I believe is your username. We all know who I'm on about anyway. He's launched video for his C-47 Skytrain with the paratroopers boarding. That sounds like a very, very cool project. I'm looking really forward to seeing how that comes along, mate. So best of luck with that. Just keep watching the first 2 episodes of Band of Brothers again and again, and you won't run out of steam with that one. I was watching a few other builds. I was watching a Tiger 1 build. I think it was Red Dragon model. No, was it? I think it might have been. My apologies if I got that wrong. It's just my mind's a bit like mush today. I was also talking to Cohen about the Leo 1. Had a bit of a mishap. Don't be too disheartened, buddy. I know well, if anyone can fix it, it's you. So the surgery on that, and she'll be back up. She'll be looking. She'll be back to show-stopping quality very soon again, buddy. So just don't give up hope on that, and I'm sure you'll make it work. And also, we're looking forward. I say we're all looking forward to seeing what your man cave's going to be like in a week or 2 from now when it's all kids out again. So we're eagerly waiting the walk around vid when you're finished updating it. So I hope everyone else, I hope you're all keeping well and your builds are going well. Well, they are going well. I was watching a lot of them today. They're fabulous. So I hope you're all enjoying it. I hope everybody's doing well and being looked after and looking after each other. So I'm going to sign off now. So take care of yourselves and watch out for those buses. Bye bye.